Hi, everybody, and welcome to What Do You Do with a BA in Theater, a e-series presented by Dallas Summer Musicals Education and Community Partnerships Department. My name is Seth Johnson, and I'll be your host for this series. So what do you do with a BA in Theater? Well, we're going to find out. We have a wonderful guest today, Laura Lights. Laura, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Laura Lights. I am an actress in the DFW area. Let's see, a little background for me. I grew up in California, so I went to school out there. I spent 3 years at Cal State Fullerton and then ended up transferring my 4th year to UC Riverside. My school story is, I guess, a little bit of an interesting one. I went to a more arts-focused school at Cal State Fullerton that had a very prominent musical theater program there. And that's one of those situations that I think a lot of us go through where you are told you are only so talented and will only go so far in this world. And I got kind of told that when I was about 21, 22, that I wasn't what they were looking for their program. So instead of sticking around, I decided to peace on out and show them otherwise. So I ended up transferring to UC Riverside and got my BA in theater there, which was a great move for me. And I ended up back in Texas about 10 years ago now. I spent a couple years out on the East Coast, not in New York. I was in Massachusetts for a little bit and did some regional theater out there. Spent 4 months in Maine doing dinner theater. I did some world premiere works in Connecticut and Massachusetts, and then ended up coming out here where my family is. And since I've been in Dallas, it's been a great move for me. I've worked at almost all of the equity houses in town. I'm not equity though, so that is one thing I have not done purposefully, but I've worked at Dallas Theater Center, Uptown Players, Theater 3, Lyric Stage, a lot of them, and it's been great. I also am one of those full-time career, full-time actress, kind of full-time mom of 3 careers. Currently, I work for full-time for a liquor company, so I work for, ironically, Corona, the beer. I work for the brand and Modelo, and so I kind of work full-time 9 to 5. I'm on my computer helping out, working in the sales business for Constellation Brands, which is one of the biggest liquor companies in the world, actually. So that's my day job. I was a server for a while. I worked in catering for a while, but now I'm kind of settling into a new career, and then I do full-time performances. I'm a full-time singer. I have a church gig that I'm currently not singing at the moment because COVID, but any other Sunday I have a full-time church gig. I do a few shows a year. I do cabarets and, things like that to keep myself busy and interesting, but also being a full-time mother, I've taken a little bit of step back in performing. Not doing the hustle like I was before, where it was any show, any time of the year, just go, 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 go. I'm a little more thoughtful in what I want to do and when I can do it and things like that, because I have a 4-year-old now. So she needs attention sometimes. Sometimes she needs to know who mommy is. But kind of me in a nutshell.
Yeah. I want to piggyback off of something that you mentioned of how you've worked at all these equity houses, but you are not equity currently. And your decision behind that, because I think that's a very smart and calculated decision that you've made. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand about, like why you would want to be equity or why you wouldn't, and especially in a town like Dallas. So if you want to speak to that.
Definitely. So Dallas has a lot of work, has a lot of theater. There are also a lot of people out here. And when I moved out here, it was my cat, Bella. When I came out here, there's just so many people in my age range, in my type range, my voice range, all of the above. And it does kind of become a fight for roles. So I decided not to take my equity card just so I could keep working and keep getting known and seen and getting opportunities I might not have otherwise. I
Mhm.
am aging into a new bracket currently, so it's making me think otherwise. Like I'm kind of getting into the little more older range where there's less less
Mhm.
populated areas, so it's making me think other things. But I mean, that, who knows, you know. But definitely I think in your 20s as a female, it's hard to, I just think being equity in Dallas, you're going to be so limited in your opportunities to actually perform. So if you're in it for a paycheck, go for it. If you're in it for it to get a bunch of experience and a bunch of roles and work in a lot of places, you're very much limiting yourself if you take your equity card in Dallas.
Yeah, and I think that's true with a lot of regional theaters out there right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of opportunities, but only so many contracts, and with the disproportionate amount of men and men and women like auditioning for these roles, unfortunately, some of these contracts go to places where they really shouldn't be going.
Yeah.
Um, which is just a weird kind of place to be, but that's where we are. And I think that's
Yeah.
a very smart move on your part to really like think that through. I think more people need to really take that in consideration when deciding whether or not to pursue equity or not. And
Mhm.
if you do not know what equity is, it is the artists union that actors and stage managers can join. And they just have some job security things that we can go into at a later date. If you want more information on that, send me an email. I can send you all that information. It's kind of complicated. The rule books are very
Yes.
wordy, but there's a lot in there that is kind of fascinating. That's good to know just in general if you're pursuing theater. Yeah, so I want to talk about your career within the liquor business. So
Mhm.
you're in the sales portion of that, right?
Mhm.
How does your job in sales kind of influence your work in theater and vice versa? How does theater help you with the sales?
Yeah. So it's been very helpful, actually, especially going from I worked in catering for about 7 years in sales. So basically selling food and venues to brides and things like that. And that's also kind of now gone into the liquor sales and honestly learning how to pitch. It's like learning a monologue,
Wow.
and painting a picture. You're telling a story. You're, especially when I was in the wedding business with catering, like my job was to sell a venue to a bride. So I was selling her a vision. I was selling her or him a like their dream wedding, and doing that with no personality, no inflection, no enthusiasm. No one would ever like want to get married where I'm telling them to get married. So I think, having all this performing experience and, you know, training and acting and learning how to basically tell a story has very much helped my daytime professional career.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all storytellers, and that's definitely something that I think translates through all aspects of life. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So how did you, I guess, end up with this daytime career? Were there any jobs along the way that kind of influenced what you wanted to do, or anything like that?
It it kind of progressed. I started off like a lot of us do, and I was serving. I
Mhm.
was waiting tables for income while, performing at the same time. And then when some life things happened, I needed something a little more steady and especially more income during the day, because a lot of times all the money for serving is at night, but I was busy at night. I had rehearsals, I had performances. The Fridays and Saturdays where you make the most money, I was on stage. So I needed more income that was consistent. that had daytime hours. So I ended up getting a sales position for a catering company, and just kind of, it took off from there. So, and then from that, my new job with the liquor company, that was just kind of, in my opinion, godsend, because I wasn't really feeling the wedding biz much anymore. I love everyone that works there, but it's hard. It's a grind. So I just kind of started looking around and saw an opportunity with a liquor company, and I like to drink. So I was like, sure, let's see what that looks like. And so far I've been there for about 6 months, and it's been a great career change, and very supportive, good benefits. I have a husband, I have a kid, good medical benefits and PTO, and all like the glamour things of a full-time day job that I've never had before. That's been really nice.
Yeah. So before we wrap up and everything with the interview, I've been asking everybody if there was any advice that you have for your younger self, or for somebody who is graduating from high school and starting their career, whether it is in theater or not. What would you tell that person?
Ooh. One thing I'm proud of myself for doing that I would encourage young ones to do, my decision to leave the school I was in that was basically telling me I wasn't good enough, having the strength to say, no, I am, then I'm not going to stay here and keep listening to that, and go elsewhere where you're appreciated and can continue to learn and continue to perform, to grow, was the best self-advice I've ever taken. And then from there, it's keep taking classes, especially on the things you don't think you're as strong in. Like for me, I wish I had taken more dance classes. That's definitely my weakest of the three performative things. And I did when I was younger, but I stopped. And now, like, anytime I'm in a dance call, it stresses me out. So keep at it on your, keep growing your weaknesses, and never, always keep growing on your strengths as well. It's, you need all three. You need to be able to dance, you need to act, you need to sing. So never stop learning, never stop trying, and just keep going. Don't let no's stop you, because you get no's. You get lots of no's, but it's hard not to let it get in your brain, but you just have to keep going no matter what.
That's great advice, Laura. And for those of you who have not seen her perform, she's phenomenal. And I'm very glad that you did not listen to those professors that were telling you can't do it. You can't. It's amazing. I've loved working with you. So this has been great. At this point of the interview, we have a musical guest that we will insert right here.
Hi there, my name is Amanda Brown. Today I will be singing Before It's Over from Dogfight. An awkward girl with her guitar, keeping to herself, Friday nights alone, with the records on her shelf. A waitress pouring ginger ale and coke, someone you'd ask out as a joke. I've been that girl who fades away, accepting what I've got, stuck in what I am and everything I'm not. I've only seen this tiny world I'm in, where I can only be what I've been. See a world beautiful and strange, spinning off somewhere, saying meet me there. Look how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be before it's over. Before it's over. and I can't go write another song. I'm too afraid to play or dream how things could change, but only see what's in my way. I can't go back to what I was before, now that I can see so much more. See the world, beautiful and strange, on a one-way track, and it won't look back. Look, look how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be before it's over. And I never even knew the world was waiting. Somehow something awful made that world appear. Maybe it sounds crazy, but I'm happy that it happened. I'm happy that I came, and I'm happy that I'm here. I can see a world beautiful and strange. Can't you see it too? It's so close, don't let it get away. There's so much to do before it's over. Thanks, guys. Stay safe.
Yay, that was awesome. Good job. Yes, wonderful. Laura, thank you again for your time and for your advice. If you out there have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. We're happy to answer you. Dallas Summer Musical is a resource for you. So please don't hesitate to reach out, email us. We want to serve you as best as possible. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a wonderful day.